Hello everyone, good morning. So today we are going to solve the new problem, add two numbers. So let's go through the problem once. So the problem is add two numbers, LeetCode-2. You are given two non-empty linked lists representing two non-negative integers. The digits are stored in the reverse order and each of their nodes contain a single digit. Add the two numbers and return the sum as a linked list. You may assume the two numbers do not contain any leading zero except the number 0 itself. So let's go through the example. So the input L1 is 243 and L2 is 564. So what that means is it is if they have given us a number, so number would be 342, that is 342, and the second number is 465. So what now they have done the addition of both of this 342 plus 465, and what we get is 807. Now we have to return this 807 as a linked list in a reverse order, that is 708. Yeah, so it is given as let's go for the second example would be 0 0, addition of both would be 0, so input would be 0, so that's what we will return, and that's it. So what we should do now is we should think of what should be the solution. So what I think is the main problem would be we have to add all of this number to get 342. We have to add all the numbers from the linked list and get the number. So how can we get that number? So first let's write down the steps. Create number from linked list. That's how we create a number. We will create a number. Then we will add those numbers and the result should be added to linked list and then we return it. So how do we create the numbers from the linked list one? So we'll write one function which would return the integer. So let's see what are the constraints. So node value is between 0 and 9 and the number of nodes in is equal to 1 to 0. So yeah, then int would suffice. Then list to number, and what we will take is list node L1. We'll take the list node at L1. Now what we have to do is we have to iterate through this list and add it. So first let me add in sum is equal to 0. Now why sum? We'll get to it. So first let's see how the linked list is defined. So linked list has a value. Is linked node is a class which has value. Next, which would be pointing to the next node. And these are the three constructors. So we may be using constructor also. So let's see how we can iterate. So to iterate through linked list, we will go through each node until the next node is not null. So if we say while L1 is not null Uh, yeah, well, L1 is not null. We will iterate through it. Then what we'll do, we will add sum is equal to sum into 10 plus L1 dot value. So what we are doing here is like we will going through the each node. Now as it is reverse, so that's why we have to add multiply it by 10 each times. For example, if it would be 3 into 10 30 plus 4, so it would be 34, and next time sum would be 34, so 34 into 10 would be 340 plus 2, so we will get this number. So that's why we are multiplying it by 10 and we are adding the value. Now while we are adding, we want L1 to be L1 dot next for the next iteration. Until unless it's null, we are iterating through it, and after the end we are returning the sum. So we have written this function. Now what we will do is, here we would create a variable. Let's give the same name sum. I think both are in this different method, so that one is fine. So we'll call this method list number and we'll pass L1 plus, sorry, it should be list2 number, the function we created, and we'll call that function again for L2. So what this will do is it will, from list it will create a number for L1 and same for L2. Then we will do the addition of both. Create a number from LinkedList and we add those and add those. So now we have added. Now we will get the sum. Now for the sum we should add it in the linked list. So what we'll do, we'll create a list node. It should be the list is equal to new list node. So what we have done is we have created one list node and that is the value. So yeah, now we have created it. Now what we'll do, we will iterate through this sum and add it in this list node. So that should be our case. So what we'll do, so we'll use while. So sum is the number. So we have to iterate through this number and get the last digit. Add it first, then the second digit. So for that we would use a modulo operator. So while sum not equal to 0, what we are going to do is sum not equal to 0. What we'll do, first we would add this. So 0 will add it. Anyway, I think it is an integer, so it would be 0. So instead of adding it here, but what we will do is list dot value would be sum modulo 10. So it will give us the last digit and sum, we will make sum by 10. So what this will do, it will give us the last digit, and what this will do, it would remove the last digit from the sum. So suppose if it is 807, so list dot value would be 807 modulo 10, which would be 7. So 7 would be added to that list, and then sum it would be 80, because 807 by 10 would be 80. Now what we have to do is list dot next, we have to add it as new list node, and until the sum is 0 we will do this. And at last, now we are adding it, we are adding the list nodes next. So what would happen is we have to make it as list is equal to list dot next. So we have to pass the pointer to the next after adding the node. So for that we need one more list node so that we could send back the answer. So it should be head is equal to list, which it will point to the first node, and that one should be the answer. So let me just run it. Let's see if there are any errors. So yeah, that's what I feared. So what we are adding 0 in our output. So which should, so what is happening is our test case is going one more. What our code is going is it is going one more loop. So it is adding 0 at the end, which it should not. So let's just go through the code. What we say, the first it's one 807. So let's dry run it. For 807, initially the sum is 807. Now the list value what we would be adding here is 7. So 7 is added there. Now the sum would be sum by 10. So now sum value would be 80, and list dot next we added the next node, and we pointed the list to the list next. Now is sum 0? No. Now sum is 80. So it will again go through the loop. Now in the second one, list dot value would be added as 0. And then we are making sum is equal to sum by 10, which would be now sum would be 8. Now we do list dot next is equal to new list node. We add a new node and put our pointer there. Now list would be list dot next. Now sum is, now again we'll go sum. Is it not 0? Yeah, it's not 0, it's 8. So we go again. So list dot value, it would be sum. So here we would be adding it as 8. List dot value would be 8. Sum would be 8 by 10. It should be 0. Then we add next to the list node, and then we do list those next. So that's the thing here. When we have added it, the last thing we are doing this. So we should not do this, because then it is adding one more node which we don't want, and because of that and the value would be 0 because it's an int. So we don't want it. So what we can do here is, if sum is equal to 0, we would break from this loop. So let me try to run it again. Yeah, it has ran all the cases. Now let's try to submit it. See if it runs. Yeah, we have a failed test case. So what we'll do, use this test case. Now let's just see in our notebook what will be the number. So first number would be 942 and the second number would be 9465. So the sum for it would be 10,407, which is expected. But in our case, it is 5859. Oh, so how did that happen? So what we'll do is we'll add a system out here. Dot out dot println. Yes, sum would be printed. Now we have taken this test case here. So now let me run it. So as you see here, standout is 249, which is not what we wanted, right? And it is 5649. It's not the case. Now if we look at this, here also it is 243. So why our cases came here, but oh, standout is 243. So first number would be 2. Oh, it's interesting. It came true for 3, but it is 702. Let me just write 243 plus 564 is 708,807. Still, it's 807, and if you reverse this 342 and 564, which would be 465, still it would be that one. So that's where we are getting it wrong. So there is a problem in this. So we have to think about it. So let's just think. So the problem was here. So what we think we should do is we'll add one more variable, which would be multiplier. Let's initial value, let's keep it as 1. Now we are going through this loop. This should be at the units place, this should be at tens place, and should be at the hundred place. So what this multiplier would do, will multiply that with that number, and because it's multiplied by 1, it will remain same as 2, but after one loop we will increase the multiplier by 10. We'll multiply the multiplier by 10, so we can add but into 10 here. Then again we'll multiply the multiplier by 10, so we can multiply it by 100. So let me just code it here. So what we will do, we'll add a multiplier here, which would be multiplier should multiply it by this one. And we'll remove this 10 here, and yeah, I think this one should do it. But one more thing we forgot is multiplier. We need to multiply it by 10. So this is a shorthand for multiplying. We'll assigning to the multiplier by 10. So let me just run it. Yeah, all the test cases have passed. Now let's just try to submit it. See if all test cases pass. So the test case have failed. Expected is this one. So why this was expected and why not this one? So this number would be 9. We can assume, but this number would be, how many nines are there? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here the problem occurred because, now let's just search the Google. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1. 9 nines and 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. Is it long or int? So we should know one thing. Now what in the description, node values with 0 to 9 is node number of nodes range from 1 to 100. So in that case, if we try to do the sum would not occur. So we should make it long, but in that case, long would not be also feasible because the nodes are 100. So let's just say 100 digits in a line is not will not be able to calculate it. So we need to make the changes accordingly. So test case will fail here. Now we will use this test case and try to modify our answer accordingly. So now what we are going to do is, this has not worked because int cannot store such a large number. So what we need to do is we need to do the calculation 2 and 5, put it into the linked list, and if there are any carries, so if in this case 4 plus 6, it would be 10. So we'll write the units place here and we'll carry forward 1, and it would be 3 plus 4 plus 1, which would be 8. So we have to do one by one the calculations. So what I will do is remove this. So this one is not going to work. Have to remove all of it. So the one thing which would remain constant is list node. So we have a list and we are adding a new list node here. Now we will create one more list node. It will be head and we'll point this head to the list. Now we'll create one variable which should be carry. Let's assign it 0 as of now. Now we'll go through the loop. Now in this loop will run if L1 is not equal to null or L2 not equal to null or carry not equal to 0. So why have I added it? So suppose in this case where L1 and L2 size are not same, then we have to use it. So until L1 or L2 not both of them should become null, and suppose if we are adding 1 year at the end it should be 10, then we have to carry forward one. That's why we are checking carry 2. Now in this what we'll do, we'll add sum here, create a variable sum, give it as 0. Now what we have to check it like we have to do the sum. So value of L1 plus L2, and if there is a carry, then that too. So why if? So if because maybe L2 finish, now only L1 is we are looping through L1 only, then in that case we cannot loop null dot next, right? So in that case we have to write a if here. If L1 is null and L2 is not null, if L1 is null and L2 is not null, then what we'll do is sum is equal to L2 dot value plus carry, right? Then it would be L2 dot next. So same, I'll just copy it. Yeah, but not same. So if L2 is null and L1 is not null, then L1 dot carry and L1 dot L1. So now, sorry, I had to add if here. Now else if L1 is null and L2 is null and carry not equal to 0, then what should we do? We should give sum is equal to carry, right? And else, now else would always be like L1 is not null, L2 is also not null. Carry will be something. So now what we'll do is sum is equal to L1 dot value plus L2 dot value plus carry Now we should L1 is equal to L1 dot next. L2 is equal to L2 dot next. We, so here we have seen it. So sum L1 dot val plus L2 dot val plus carry. Then we are doing L1 is equal to L1 dot next and L2 is equal to L2 dot next. So after doing that, and this is the if, and going outside this if, after getting the sum, what we do is list dot next is equal to new list node, and then we do list is equal to list dot next. So we created a new node on the next, and then we gave list is equal to list dot next. So we went through that newly created node. Then in there we added the value is equal to sum modulo 10, and if there is any carry, we will carry it using sum by 10. And now we have gone through the while loop. Now whatever our answer would be, we will return it. So next let's try to run it. So the test case which was failing, that one is also working now. So now I'll try to submit it. So we have submitted it. So it beats 100%. So time complexity, if we try to analyze it, so we are going through the loop, and apart from that, it's nothing. So I think time complexity would be O of n. Let me analyze it. Yeah, so it's O of n. So yeah, that's how we can solve it. So if you like my videos, please like, share, and subscribe with your friends. It will help me to make more such videos, and subscribe it. Till that time, let's see you again.